Welcome back. Today, we're working on the seats again. We're going to try and get them finished up. We're in the home stretch. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's dim, but it's there. We're going to go and try and get everything wired in. Get the seat heat pads in and preliminary wired. The part in the seat wired. Get the trim pieces modified. Put on the outside. Figure out where this is going to go. Then we're going to try and assemble the seat, put it up on the bench, measure it out, figure out where the tracks line up in that measurement so that we can ultimately mount the seats. So that's what we're up to today. First things first, let's take a look at what we're doing. The wiring is going to be the bulk of today's work. And the fans, I went and made disconnect plugs so that this can be hooked to the truck and this can be hooked to the seat, and the seat can come out and it can plug in, and you get the point there. So those were pretty nifty. A friend of mine that's a mechanic had that, and just making your own plug. That's what's going to connect to all the fans. So we're going to solder all those wires together into that pigtail, fish it out somewhere in the back of the seat, and that's how that's all going to connect. That, since we're making that up, we can do that however we want. Then we've got the seat kits. If you've never dealt with these before, they're pretty simple. Comes with a wire for the driver's side and one for the passenger side. Pretty much power, ground, got a relay, got your switch right there, and then those connect to the pads themselves, which has a plug on those. So one will go on the back, one will go on the bottom, and both these will get fished out with the fan plug. So all that will be kind of kept together. So that's how we've got to run those. And once again, those we can run however we feel like, because there's no set place that has to be, because we're making that up. This, however, already is cut the length and whatnot. So this has to go in a certain way. So we need to make it fit this new seat in the same orientation. Wow, I think we've had too much painting going on in here. Same orientation as the other ones. And we got to account for this switch too, which on the Grand Marquis, that switch was actually on the side of the foam, right there in the seat itself, which we're going to go a different route. There's where it went. Bam, right in there like that. I'm thinking we're going to put it below, actually on the framework itself. Since this hole is already made to hold this piece, we're going to try and make it hold it again. But we'll tackle that when we get to modifying the tracks. And we're probably going to cut that piece off, put that on there. That's already got a pretty good shape. That may end up being our trim piece for the seat itself. I like the thought of that. That would really simplify things, but clean it up all at the same time. We could wrap that. We could do something. I mean, it doesn't even look that bad, just as it is. So that's where we're going. Let's figure out that wire first. Everything fits pretty well as it should. It came from this exact orientation, so there's no reason why it shouldn't have. However, since we're doing this a little different, that other seat was open completely on the bottom. This one here has fabric that runs back, except for where that latch was. I was going to make that a vent and do all kinds of intricate stuff with that, but I don't know that that's even necessary. I think maybe just leaving the hole in the fabric is sufficient, because that plug needs to come down through the bottom so that it can plug into the car's harness. So that's probably how that wire is going to fish, because that's the way it needs to go. I did take off all the factory tabs because we're just going to zip tie everything in place. Being some of this will be in the actual seat, we're going to tie that up, and then the other will have to unplug. Once it's in there, plug in, and then we can cable tie it down. I went ahead and mocked these ones in. I know where there's a town car sitting in the junkyard that has all the black accessories that eventually that'll all have to be swapped out, but for our purposes here today, we're going with the tan. That all looks good, so I'm going to tie that in, and we'll solder this baby up. Get that plug in place too. Okay, got everything wired now. Zip tied to the seat what I can. Here's the pigtail for the fans. Next thing I think we're ready to do is put the foam on, put the pads on, and wrap this baby. But before I do that, I want to address this side decorative piece. The other side just bolted on there because we didn't modify anything of the framework that attached to. This side we cut the whole end off and put this mechanism in place. I do still want this to go here though, to cover up some of this and hide the side profile more than anything. With taking a look at what we can do here, got the original bolt that would go through there, and it fits this nut right like so. And with eyeballing this, I found the spot on the side that I can weld this nut to that should give me a place to put that bolt to and should hold this. Once I got that, I'm going to have to trim over about yay far and straight down to accommodate for this piece, but it should cover most of this and it'll cover a lot of the side. Then the seat will come. You'll see that little bit there, but that's not that big of a deal in my eyes. Not as much as seeing this whole side. So I want to go and cut this real quick because I don't want to be welding once I got the seat here. As soon as I do that, I know I'll burn the seat. Alright, that worked out just like I wanted it to. That fits as good as it's going to fit, but I think it'll really clean up the look of the seat. So let's get the foam in, get the seat pad in, and wrap it in leather. Who'd have guessed? putting a whole bunch of stuff inside the seat and then trying to get the cover back on it was going to be difficult, but it's on. We're going to flip it over in just a second, but look how good the bottom turned out. I don't even think I'm worried about any of this anymore, because those wires coming through that hole is pretty good. I doubt you're going to see that. You're never going to see these holes. I'm not worried about those. All the brackets that are going to mount to the tracks look nice and clean. The carpet looks good on here. You know, it's a little dirty, but look at that. Would you look at that? I did it. I did it. I jammed all that crap into this seat, put it back together, and it looks right. It needs a little finessing. I will give you that on the leather, because that's tough. I don't know how to do that, but I think it'll be much easier once it's mounted. But man, overall, looks just like the seat did when I got it. We'll get that black. That's going to fit in there. Got the cup holder there. Look at this trim piece. Fits there. It's mounted on the tracks. You already saw the bottom. Looks good. Looks good. Got the plugs ready to wire it up. Let me give you a better look. Look how nice that all fits right there. Eventually, you know, all those wires will be tucked up, but I don't know we're going to do really much right there across the front. Here on this side, obviously I want to cover up right there on this track, and we'll need to put the lumbar control right there on the side. I may put all the controls right there, but look how nice that piece fits. Well, big surprise. That took longer than expected. But you know what? I don't even care, because the driver's seat is done. Yeah, I mean, the seat portion of it is really done. Now it's mount the track and, you know, hook up the rest of it once it's in the truck. But the seat mods are done on that one. So we're halfway there. Next time, we're going to do the driver's side. We already did the driver's side. Next time, we're going to do the passenger side. That one's got a couple more things than what this one does. It's got two sensors in there. It's got that buckle up my beer sensor, and then it's got I don't know, some other sensor. I don't know what it does. It's mounted on a frame. It needs to be in there again. So we got to mount those two and then do everything we did here. Hopefully that side goes easier, quicker, because we've done this once. Should. Everything else we've done it on the second time. It's gone faster. So that's what we're going to do next time. And if I got time, maybe we'll start looking at the track mounts. I wanted to get all that done today, but it just didn't happen. So that's going to end it for today. Like always, thanks for watching the videos. Leave me a comment. We'll see you next time.